Hey guys, today I want to discuss 3 topics with you about Age of Empires 4 and other RTSs like StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3. We're going to make some comparisons of the different dimensions that you can be playing in, namely water versus land, like in Age of Empires 4, and land versus air, like in SC2 and Warcraft 3. So my thoughts on the different dimensions are as follows. If in a game of Warcraft 3 or StarCraft 2 you assemble an aerial force, either for transportation like Goblin Zeppelins or Terran Medivacs, or for war like Wind Riders or, I wanted to say Valkyries, but that's StarCraft 1. Let's say Wind Riders and Bat Riders and Griffin Riders, or in StarCraft 2 you've got Wraiths and Battlecruisers and Carriers. No matter what, once you assemble a superior air force, perhaps most felt in the Corruptor battle versus air, suddenly there is a chance that those Corruptors become useless. The Corruptors have just beaten all the carriers, and because they're an anti-air unit only, they function very much like junk food that doesn't do anything anymore, supply that cannot be used effectively. In StarCraft 2, they made the following solution. Corruptors now have a new channeled ability that can attack buildings, so that those Corruptors still have a purpose. Besides preventing future aerial battles from aerial forces from being assembled, because you can snipe them down with Corruptors, you now have a way to use them and kill some buildings with them. They're still not going to do well into ground units, because they cannot attack ground units. So that's a great way to kind of use the redundancy of that unit. Now let's look at Age of Empires 4 for a bit. If on a map like Baldur's Bay, which is a somewhat land map, but most of the land hugs the shore of the sea that you are fighting over in a water battle, if you win out on water and you have a superior force of hulks, you can use those to kill all of your opponent's production fairly soon afterwards, all of their docks on water, so that it's kind of a snowball. You can never earn it back. You can never go back on water as the person who lost out water. No matter how much you develop your land, you will always have to prevent yourself from hugging the shore, because there's going to be hulks littered all around the shore shooting. And the problem is, right now, there is almost no way to earn back the water after you've lost it. But more about that in point number 2. In Warcraft 3, if you have a large force of Wind Riders or Griffins, it can be hard for an opponent to start making Gargoyles, which are an anti-air unit, simply because you have many Wyverns, and even though Gargoyles counter Wyverns, you need many of Gargoyles in order to be able to beat the Wyverns. And if I camp your production with Wyverns, every time a Gargoyle comes out, I can kill it. However, there's a very strong base defense, and there are very strong land versus air unit counters that prevent me from camping your production with my Wind Riders. If you've got 4 Fiends or maybe 2 Spirit Towers and you've got the Black Citadel shooting at my Wyverns, that is a cost ineffective trade for me to take. And there's also heroes that can Coil Nova and nuke Wyverns. So if I can't camp your production, you're actually allowed to make a comeback making many Gargoyles in order to take down my Wyverns eventually. And then I have to counter that. And I consider this good gameplay. There's countering possibilities. The problem that happens is that I can't make 10 Bouchuans to earn back water to beat 20 Hulks, because those 20 Hulks are camping my production. And unlike in Warcraft 3, there's no strong base defense or a unit from a different dimension, land unit, that can beat or hold off at bay the water unit for long enough for me to plant my roots on water again. And that will bring me to point number 2. Because I feel like right now air is working better in StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3 than water is working in Age of Empires 4. I do find that the gameplay of Age of Empires 4 with water can be very fun. There's a lot of multitasking, and it's almost like you're playing 2 games at the same time, where you're playing on land and land economy and water. And I think that's part of the reason why many people feel intimidated to play on water, because you're essentially multi-boxing, right? You're a Grandmaster chess player playing 2 games at the same time. One on water, you can't look away for an instance, and one on land, can't look away for an instance. But that does tickle me as a veteran RTS player and you know, someone that has played at high level, that tickles me to have that challenge. So maybe if people think it's fun to watch, it's still fun for us to play it. But the counter table should be in good order. And the last part about water here is that there should be more of a counter table, in that one unit clearly beats the next, beats the next, beats the next. Rock, paper, scissors, just like on land. And because of the asymmetric ship availability and how some just beat others, like the Delhi ships are just worse, the Bakla's just worse, it can't hit buildings for more than 1 damage, but a ballista hits a building for 50 damage from a Hulk. So there's a big disconnect there, even though they're the same class of ship. So besides the rock, paper, scissors not working out entirely yet, let's talk about how to improve water, even without redesigning the docks and the ships. At least allow us to eke out our place on water again. Point number 2 is we need a unit on land that can crush ships. So right now, what crushes ships is, well, other ships. And the second one is outposts and keeps have bonus damage to ships. But the problem is I can only build until the dimension stretches on land. I can only build so far as the land goes.
The answer is easy.
And whatever.
Add neutral pirates onto every neutral.
That sounds like some board games I've played. And let me tell you that there's a lot of RNG in how those pirates move, and it's not always nice for the player that keeps getting pirated. But and usually it was my wife that kept getting pirated. Funny how that goes. It was RNG really. But so the thing is, you can only build those outposts on the shore, and they can then have like range 6 or range 8 of a defensive zone, but it is not enough to protect your dock from hulks. And also hulks kind of beat outposts back. I propose there should be a land unit, either biological or a siege unit, that has a large range and is mostly just good at killing ships. Nothing else. So a niche unit that you can make to start earning back. Maybe like, I don't know, range 15. Or maybe like if a trebuchet couldn't miss on a ship and did massive damage to it, 2 shots and you're dead. Then whoever has water control can still control trade routes. They can still maybe win the battle in the middle of the water. And they can protect their own docks. But what they can't do is camp your shorelines and prevent docks from coming up. And this would be really not much different from strong base defense against air units in StarCraft 2 or Warcraft 3. My burrows and watchtowers in my Orcish main base prevent enemy griffins from camping my bestiary, so I can get bat riders out. And it's also very strong. Like, if someone has 20 longbows and they're going to camp my archery ranges, and I've got 10 archers and I need more, if he camps my ranges and kills every new archer, that's bad for me. But I can still make new ranges, new stables on the other side of my town center or protected by an outpost, and I can still create a fallback point. The problem is on water that's not working right now. So I propose there should be like a unit. It can be the Springle, the Mangonel, the Trebuchet, or whatever. It has to be H2 or H3 though, and Siege Workshop comes out in H3, and that's kind of the issue. Even if I have 50 archers, I can't take down a Hulk, you know, that's on water, even though they're both tier 2, and that's kind of the problem. So if there is a unit that allows me to take back water, eking out in existence from the land, then that will be better, I think. And because right now on Boulder Bay, if you look at the map, at the map location, you go to Boulder Bay and you see, oh yeah, once I lose water, right? Once I lose water, I have to hug the corner of the map. So if I want to go from here, my main base, to here, I need to walk rally point, click, rally point, click, rally point, click, and fight. And I can't take my barracks and rally them here, because then they'll walk past the shoreline and the Hawks will just kill everything. So part of the non-viability of some civs that have strong land economy but that lost water is you can't walk here anymore. And I would propose Boulder Bay is just a bad map. A better example of a hybrid map would be Nagari, where there is water for farming and you can fight over it with each other, but the most direct walking paths typically don't walk past the water to the same degree. And it's kind of like in Warcraft 3, where they made all the maps gradually, that if you walk from point A to B, especially to your opponent's base, you shouldn't have to walk through aggroed creep camps. Essentially, Lost Temple is an exception. On Lost Temple, if you spawn right next to each other, you can walk to each other with no creep intervention, which is a more chill way to play the game. It's more fun for players. It's more frustrating when you want to attack each other, harass each other. You need to always, oh yeah, I need to walk around, need to walk around, need to walk around. And if you don't, suddenly you're battling creeps that are way too powerful and just destroy you. On Lost Temple on cross map, you do have that issue, but you tend to just creep the center first, make space, and then again, no issue. And that's kind of the complex with Boulder Bay and also Confluence and Danube River and Mongolian Heights. These maps, you can't walk your land units without dying to ships. I think the best water map is Ancient Spires, except for its RNG. Hybrid, that is. Because there's little puddles everywhere to fight over. You've got all the fun of a big chessboard of different pieces here and there, but it doesn't control space in the same way that it does on Baldur's Bay. Well, my final point is about outposts. The investment of making an outpost is 100 wood, and you can make it as early as 2 minutes, 3 minutes into the game, sometimes as part of a tower rush, like the Mongols have done a lot, but other civs can do it too. It has 500 health, 50 ranged armor, and it kills everything in Dark Ages and Feudal very, very cost efficiently. So you can go to Feudal Age, reach by 5 minutes, make a blacksmith, finish by 5:45, research ram engineering, finish by 6:45, make a ram, finish by 7:30. Then you can use the ram, you kill the outpost by 8, and then you're lucky if there's only one outpost. If there is a second outpost, you'll finish that by 8:30. If there's 5 outposts, like Mongols usually have like 5 outposts around your base, you're going to be finished by 10 minutes. With an investment of 500 plus lumber, 125 gold, you need the units to make the rams, all to deal with 4 spearmen and 1 outpost. So they spend maybe 300 resources. You need to spend over 1,000 resources, reallocate your whole game plan just to take care of this outpost. It offers a lot of vision. It's very hard to take down. You completely need to change your strat to kill 1 outpost. And they just seem too strong to me early game. So I would recommend a few changes to outposts. I think they're too good in tower rushes in general. They provide a presence and vision for too long. And I will wind this down because I see the patches coming up, which is sick. I would propose that outposts have no ranged armor while being created. They kind of put this down in your face. I'm making it, but you can't stop it. Even if you have archers, like you can try to target down the villagers, but it depends how much units the opponent has and whether they have a con. No ranged armor at all while it's being made, instead of 50, so that you can cancel it and take it down more easily, and there's greater risk to the tower rusher. And maybe... yeah, and somehow either it should do less damage or be easier to take down afterwards, or like maybe rams should be cheaper or something. I don't know exactly what, but I think right now outposts are just too good for their cost. So I think the starting point is no armor while being made. Maybe even take bonus damage from melee, like taking double damage, so that if they have 4 spears and I've got 4 spears, I can just click down his outpost, take minimum damage, and then someone will need to learn to make it secretly first, rather than just in my face and I see it, and even though I did everything I tried to do, everything I could do, I can't take down that outpost because it just has way too much health, it gets built too quickly. Yep, that's my 3 thoughts. Just small little things. Again, I think the patch was incredibly good. And I know we're getting a lot more next month in February. And there seems to be a really healthy cadence to the patching in Age of Empires 4. I'm super excited about the future. I think maybe some of these ideas help to give some ideas for how to improve outpost rushing and water. Now, let's go update the game. It's here.